The Grudge 2 was the sequel to the original The Grudge, which itself was a remake of a Japanese movie Ju-on, which itself was a continuation of the failed TV pilot Where's Rodney, about a boy named Rodney who can summon the real Rodney Dangerfield to give him advice about girls.
Where's Rodney?
What a childhood I had. My mother breastfed me through a straw.
Where's Rodney?
When my old man took me to the zoo, they thanked her for returning me.
Where's Rodney?
Now, last week I looked up my family tree, 2 dogs were using it.
Where's Rodney?
I'm ugly, you kid. On Halloween, I opened the front door, kids give me candy.
Where's Rodney?
And I was an ugly kid, too, in the merry-go-round. They made me ride under the horse.
Where's Rodney?
My wife is dumb. Are you kidding? You want to know how dumb she is? It takes her an hour and a half to watch 60 minutes.
Where's Rodney?
They obviously changed some names, but the overall theme is still terrifying. The movie begins by explaining the base rules of the Grudge curse again for those that missed it the first time. Hopefully the producers of The Grudge 2 try to tell a more coherent story this time around, because the first one was just kind of all over the place. What the hell? I have no idea who these people are. But that dude's dead and oh! We then go from wherever the hell we just were to Tokyo, Japan. We are not off to a good start. In Tokyo, we meet Allison, who is a new student, and she gets dared to go to the Grudge house after school. They play it off like the house being haunted is some sort of urban legend, but again, it should be very well documented that everyone who's set foot in that house has either died or disappeared. And it's not like it happened decades ago. Like, this is all within the last few years. Everyone should want to avoid that house. So they dare Allison to sit in the closet for 10 seconds, and then they say that Kayako will appear. They shut her in there, and Allison immediately sees Kayako, aka that. I read somewhere that in horribly frightening situations, you can essentially will your body into just shutting down. And I don't know if it's true or not, but if I'm ever in a similar situation, I'm gonna try to just die. So Allison is as good as dead, and oh, she got away from Kayako. Like, Kayako must have just woken up from a hell nap or something, because normally she's on top of it. Okay, and we're in Pasadena now. So we are introduced to Aubrey, who is the sister of Karen from the original Grudge, and she just now learns that Karen is in the hospital after setting the Grudge house on fire. So Aubrey flies to Tokyo to try to bring her sister home, and Karen immediately freaks out on her and says that she has to go back to the house because she's the only one that can stop her.
Listen to me. I'm the only person that can stop her. Oh, stop who? I have to go back, Karen. Do I have to?
She doesn't tell Aubrey who she needs to stop or give any kind of coherent explanation.
Don't go in that house.
I think you whispered the important part and shrieked the nonsense part. Kayako then tries to attack Karen, but she manages to get away. Again, from Kayako, a ghost who can seemingly manipulate space and time, and Karen makes her way to the roof of the hospital, which seems like it would be difficult to do. Like go into any random building and try to get to the roof. You can't do it. But Karen gets pulled off the roof by Kayako right in front of Aubrey, and it is sad and shocking, and I don't know how Aubrey is gonna, okay, we're in Chicago now. Alright, let me get my bearings, The Grudge 2. Good God. And oh, isn't that nice? It's the angry couple from the beginning. We learn that these two are Bill and Trish is moving in with Bill and his kids, Jake and Lacey. That night, Jake is woken up by their neighbors, the Flemings, who are guiding a sobbing person through the hall, and Toshio is there, because why not? And we're in Japan. And so back at the seemingly all-white Japanese school, Vanessa is being a total bitch to Allison in the locker room, and probably about 20 or 30 girls join in the mocking. Vanessa then goes in to take a shower, and when she comes out, not one person is left in this locker room. Like, did she stay in the shower for several hours while every single other girl changed and left? Can the Grudge cause temporal displacement of an entire building? Did it allow Vanessa to jump forward in time so that it's actually 2 in the morning for her, thus explaining why no one else is in the locker room? Or seemingly the school at all? Like, I don't mean to nitpick, but good gravy. This same scene could have been done at Vanessa's house while her parents are out to dinner, because then you don't have to bend the fabric of space-time to explain why she's suddenly all alone. None of that ultimately matters because Kayako lets Vanessa escape. You know, maybe Kayako is just going through some stuff at home and her heart just isn't in it anymore. I mean, her house did catch on fire and so many people have been reading her diary lately, so she's probably just really bummed. I mean, I would be. Miyuki and her boyfriend get a hotel room to have sex, and within 15 seconds of getting Miyuki up to the room, Michael does what any teenage boy would do in a hotel room with his girlfriend. He immediately takes a shower by himself. While Miyuki is waiting, Kayako comes from behind and pulls her into the mirror? Because that is totally something that Grudge ghosts can do. They've talked about it all the time. Like, are they just going to keep adding to Kayako's list of powers? Is she going to suddenly be able to rip a K off her nightgown and throw it at people? Back in Chicago, the honeymoon phase is definitely over for Bill and Trish, as Bill starts becoming increasingly hostile and controlling, and okay, we're in Japan again. So the school guidance counselor calls Allison and Vanessa into her office to talk about what happened when they went into the Grudge house, and to also tell them that Miyuki is missing. Allison becomes upset and runs out of the office, and the guidance counselor runs after her, leaving Vanessa alone in the office, where she is soon terrorized by Toshio, and apparently Allison and the guidance counselor ran several blocks away, because neither of them are anywhere around to hear Vanessa's screams of terror. And then Allison runs to a phone booth and gets kayakoed. Aubrey meets a reporter named Eason who has been investigating the Grudge house for 3 years, and he says that when Karen set the house on fire, something changed and now it's getting worse. Eason and Aubrey go to the Grudge house, and Eason goes in alone to investigate, I guess? I mean, he's been doing a story on this house for 3 years, so he's been in the house before, but this time is different because he finds Kayako's diary just sitting around, and outside, the Grudge teleports Aubrey into the house. So I guess throw phasing onto the pile of Grudge powers. Eason takes the journal to a friend of his who is a folklore expert, who tells him that Kayako's mother was some sort of exorcist who would extract evil spirits and then feed them to her daughter. I love how every horror movie has a friend who's an expert in the exact monster or demon that the main characters are hunting. Like if I was investigating something, not even paranormal, just anything, I cannot think of a single person who would be able to help me on any topic. I may need new friends, I'm not sure, but they don't know anything. So they decide that they have to go see Kayako's mother to see if she can take the evil spirits out of them. They head back to Eason's apartment first, where Aubrey falls asleep, and Eason goes to develop film in his darkroom, which would be scary as hell, even if you weren't being stalked by an omnipresent Japanese water ghost, so I have to question Eason's decision-making here. As he's developing a picture, Kayako totally the-rings him and crawls out of the picture-developing water? You know what? I've never known what that is. Is that water? Or is it some special chemical? I'm focusing on the wrong thing here. Kayako then jumps out of the picture liquid and kills Eason. And back to Chicago, where Lacey goes to pick up her friend Sally, who also lives in their building, so they can go to a party, and Sally is acting really weird. Sally, the human body can't process that much lactose all at once. You are gonna get sick. See? I told you. You kids and your internet challenges. And is this why it takes women so long to get ready? Hey, it's me. Yeah, I'm at Sally's and she's doing that milk thing again, so we're gonna be really late to this party. I know, my best friend's crazy. So Jake hears thudding in the middle of the night and goes into the Flemings' apartment and sees the mystery girl who has newspaper covering all the windows. Does newspaper stop a grudge demon? I don't know, probably? Also, not sure why Jake can see Kayako. Thought the grudge only affected people who went in the house. So I think it's safe to say that I have no idea what's happening in Chicago. And, yep, absolutely no clue what's going on in Chicago. So the movie then catches up to the scene from the very beginning, and then immediately we jump back to Japan, where Allison is again talking to her guidance counselor about the cursed house. And Miss Dale reveals that she went into the house with the police and found nothing, and then... What? What? So is Miss Dale just a manifestation created by the curse? Or is she the actual person who's able to switch back and forth between guidance counselor and horrifying hellspawn? Like, has Miss Dale just been going about her normal guidance counselor duties in between being a creepy-ass ghost? Because every other grudge demon would 100% not be able to hold down a 9-to-5 job. Like, can you imagine Kayako filling out an expense report? That would be the most haunted Excel spreadsheet ever. Aubrey heads to Kayako's childhood home, and on the bus she encounters a creature more terrifying than 1,000 Kayakos. Aubrey finds Kayako's mother, who admits to taking evil spirits out of other people and feeding them to her daughter, but denies that anything she did had any effect on what Kayako has become. Bullshit! Her mother says that Kayako's powers are growing and the curse is spreading beyond the house. And again, it has nothing to do with the evil spirits that she fed her daughter as a young child. It's just pure coincidence. And then Kayako shows up and does whatever a Kayako does.
Something bad lives there. That's what's making everything else bad here.
Except for these two, but we won't get into that right now. Jake and Lacey then notice their apartment door is wide open and the power is out. Now let's say you don't believe in horrifying she-demons. I'm still gonna believe in damn burglars who may or may not still be in that apartment. So Jake and Lacey split up to search this 400 square foot apartment. And Jake finds his dad's body and he finds Lacey face down in the bathtub. Trish then appears and Toshio pulls Trish under the water in the bathtub. All normal and good. He runs out in the hall where he sees a mysterious girl in the hoodie, and we jump back to Japan where Aubrey sees Ghost Takeo, who then murders her just like he did with Kayako. And then back in Chicago, we learn that the mysterious figure is none other than Allison. Which I guess was supposed to be a surprise, but they didn't do a very good job of concealing her face through most of it. And so apparently the events in Japan took place in the past. And... hold on. What the hell is that? Let's go back to the beginning of this movie, shall we? That is clearly Kayako. That is clearly Grudge Aubrey. Or Graubrey. Nope. Grudge Aubrey. That was better. You know, twist endings aren't good when you have to cheat. So let me see if I get this straight. So we have multiple rage curses in the same house caused by the same guy who is also dead? Like, can Takeo just keep killing people and eventually create a grudge army? Or is Aubrey the new grudge demon for that location? Like, did Kayako sublet the curse to her while she travels the world? Kayako decides that now is a good time to take Allison. Feel like she could have done it any time in the past several months. And then Kayako comes after Jake, and movie done. So, alright, one more movie in this series, plus the reboot. I should probably watch the originals at some point, and the new TV series on Netflix. Maybe after all of that, these movies will finally make sense.